Oh, come on, is this Toronto? This is Montreal. Are you guys excited? My name's Jason Rockman from Show 97.7. I'm so happy to be introing this show. Are you guys excited? You guys like being human? They film right next to where I live all the time. We have the entire principal cast with us today. Kristen Hager, Meaghan Rath, Sam Witwer, and Sam Huntington. They're going to be standing at Sam Witwer's booth right after here, and all their merchandise is available at the Muse booth. Ladies and gentlemen, the cast of Being Human!
Until you give in. And there is nothing else in the world that feels better than giving in to your inner monster. Oh, please use a glass. I'm sorry. I'm a vampire.
Big yay.
There's this extremely lame poltergeist homage going on in the kitchen right now, Sally.
How do we know that's even a ghost?
It's nuts, isn't it? How everything else about you can be so normal, but there's this one thing. There's a price to pay for screwing around with the royal. I did this to you that night. I can cure her if I kill him.
You two are totally about to go on two separate killing sprees for the women. That is so hot.
There's something after me. Something dark that I let loose into my world.
You have no idea the danger you put us in. Those things are dead messy. We can't just do whatever we want because it feels good.
This world is now sealed off to you.
You're talking to the sun. You're gonna die in here tonight. Just Sally being Sally. Silly Sally. So silly.
You got that waxy heroin chic look going on. Do you need to eat?
He doesn't need to eat.
Nope.
That's the answer to the question.
Hi guys.
Hello.
Hey, I'm here alone. Nobody's moderating. Really trust us enough to just.
Oh, isn't this great, huh? What do you guys want to talk about?
What's going on?
Hey. What should we talk about?
Help.
No moderators. I have a question for Sam Huntington.
I can't wait.
How handsome are you?
I am on a scale of 1 to 10.
Tell us the truth.
I'm like everybody knows. Everybody knows. My shirt's coming off. It's not gonna happen. But Kristen, take it.
Guys, I just want everybody to know I'm wearing Sam Witwer on my shirt right now.
It's true.
That's what's happening.
I did not make her do that.
He actually bought me this shirt.
Here. Take
You woke up this morning.
Just put it on.
Woke
Don't
up
look
this
at it.
morning, standing over your bed.
This is what you're wearing tonight.
This is what you're wearing today.
What?
This is what you're wearing today. This is what you're wearing.
Hey, so we should probably talk about the show.
No, seriously, what the hell is going on?
Are you guys supposed to ask questions?
Hey.
Hi guys.
Oh.
Hey!
Anybody who has questions for the wonderful cast of Being Human that's on stage right now, you can come and sit in the first row, and we're going to try to get through as many of you as we can. Alright? Si vous avez des questions pour les merveilleux acteurs de Being Human, vous pouvez venir vous asseoir dans la première rangée ici, et vous allez probablement pouvoir leur poser des questions. Merci.
Wouldn't it be funny if they all just like left after that?
So, guys, I'll ask you a first question just to get you going. Because you're shooting the show in Montreal, right?
Yep, we were shooting last night, actually.
Okay. So how's your French coming along?
C'est bon, c'est très bon. The 50% of us can speak French.
Charles de Gaulle. A fromage.
Fromage.
Wait. Right? Keanu speaks French.
Character that you invented last night.
Who was my nickname?
Le Disappointeur.
Oh, because my performance was so disappointing last night that it's just like, that was just what I was.
Kristen and I speak French. The guys,
You speak. I speak okay French. Meaghan speaks good French.
well, that's debatable.
You are like every day you give yourself a hard time about your French. I don't understand.
It should be better.
That's just nonsense. She can teach you.
She will teach you.
Okay.
Take her
That
hand.
girl right
Taking
there.
up on that offer.
She's teaching you. She's going to teach you.
That is my French teacher. Don't talk poorly.
This is
about her.
Amelie. She's my French teacher.
So,
You have to hold it up for me? This is really degrading. Okay. I'll uncomfortably ask this question now. Thank you for putting me in this position. My question's for Huntington. On the show, because you guys shoot in Montreal, there's a lot of Montreal actors. Alison Louder, who plays your sister, I've known for the last 10 years. We grew up, we used to play in punk bands together.
Awesome.
I want to know what it was like working with her.
With Allison?
Yeah.
Boy, is she a talented cat, huh? She's, I think she brings, I'm such a douchebag. Douchey thing to say about anyone. By the way, Meaghan, are we bothering your tweeting?
She's a talented cat.
She's a really talented cat.
I am tweeting right now. I'm tweeting a picture of all of you.
What's that?
That kid looks like jam.
She has more energy than my 3-year-old son. She,
That person loves that.
Thank you.
That's
Thank you. That's the person I've been seeing
I know that
spying
guy.
in my window.
I know that man.
Do you?
He's been spying on me the last 3 years.
He's a spy. He's a spy. And she, am I speaking too close or am I just out loud? She's just so talented. And the character is nice because it's one of our only, I think only one of our only remaining human characters who's still kind of not in on the joke. You know what I mean? She's still very much the audience in that, we're trying to kind of keep everything from her. And so I think that adds a really great and interesting layer. I think it's always really fun when the show, when we have to hide what we are. I think that's kind of a fun thing to play. And a lot of the humor of the show, seriously, dude, comes from that. And Allison does a beautiful job of being, blissfully unaware. So,
All right.
yeah.
So, did you know how much you were going to be naked in the middle of the night in the woods when you took this role? Or?
No. Well, the first.
How much you and him would be naked?
Yeah, we're gonna be naked together tonight. The first paragraph of the first episode that I read when I was auditioning for the show was, Josh stands naked in the woods.
It had you at
So I
that.
kind of knew
Not need to
that
read
there was
on.
going to be some of that going on. I'm actually kind of thrilled that it wasn't more. Like, I feel like at least I don't have to like flash my D&Ds all the time. You know what I mean? That would be uncomfortable. Just full frontal Josh all the time. That would be a weird show. So yeah, no, but a little bit.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you, man. Nice suit, by the way.
Good questions.
Very dapper.
Great questions. Nice
Backpack.
Nice backpack.
Is that a Ninja Turtle backpack?
That's a trash.
Bravo.
As much as I love Sam #1 here, I just want to know, without revealing any sort of plot spoilers, is there going to be more about the werewolves in season 3?
Yes.
Yes, there is.
I'll let Kristen answer.
Yeah, there's definitely more werewolves than you've seen in the past. I don't know how much I can give away.
Just tell them about the show.
So there's I could talk about Liam, right?
Yeah, I think a little bit. Yeah.
Most specifically, the twins, the purebred twins from season 2. Their father returns to Boston to find out what happened to them. And along with him, there's a whole brood of werewolves that roll into town.
Also, I want to know is there any particular story between you four that just like a funny story that's happened while you were, what's the word? Wow, I'm blanking.
Like we got Meaghan pregnant once. That was super awkward.
It was just one time, and I'm not pregnant
It
anymore.
was hysterical. He's 2 now. He's a beautiful child. He's got a real glint in his
He's got
eye.
a great chin.
A really strong chin.
So I want to know,
Big white eyes.
Well, last night I farted in the traffic cone.
Oh yeah, this is a true story.
This actually happened, guys. Just being serious.
Yeah.
Everyone, just keep it down and let's
So there
listen.
were 2 jokes that happened. The first one being that it sounded hilarious.
And louder than it would normally be because it's in a traffic cone. Right? It was
like a
amplified.
bullhorn, if you will, for my ass. And then it kind of flowed up out of the top of the cone like a child's science volcano. And it just disturbed a lot of people.
I was there. It happened exactly like he said.
Yeah.
We call it skunking.
Skunking. Yeah.
just by the way, I just got a text from my friend Melissa. She wants Sam Huntington to know she thinks he's the most adorable thing in the world.
Can you tell her that I will be over at 5? 5.
She's 15.
Well, then you can go ahead and tell her that Witwer will be over at 5.
Someone's got to learn her.
All right.
You're all thinking that you should be ashamed of yourselves! All of you!
Good questions.
Now you're applauding it, and now you're encouraging it, and now you're part of this.
Enablers.
I just want to say thank you for taking my question. It concerns one of the twins, Tracy Spididakos, and her character, if she's going to become, because I know she was just cast in the new NBC show Revolution, so will we see her in season 3?
No.
Okay.
I'm really sorry. She's on Revolution.
Yeah, fuck that bitch.
If you...
Dead to us.
If you're itching, if you're hankering for a little Spiridakos, I'd tune on over to what network is that on? What network is that? NBC.
He totally just said it, didn't he?
Yeah,
No, you're picking up on this real quick.
What happened? Oh no, he knew about it.
He knows. So we basically just took your question, regurgitated the information that you gave us, put it right back onto you and said, there you go, there's what you know. What you know, we'll give it back to you.
Okay.
No, but her character does figure in prominently in the season in terms, we can't tell you how. So,
That's one last question for Meaghan, actually. What part of the city did you grow up in?
I grew up in Montreal West, just right by Aidan. I'm home, guys. I love you so much.
Well, at least it's not violent.
Thanks, hanging with me.
she's drunk, guys.
Hammer
She gets like this when she gets drunk.
So sorry for her. I'm so sorry for her right now.
Guys, I'm sorry about this.
Oh, that was it. Thanks, guys. And good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, my question is for Mr. Sam Witwer. Riddle me this. How does it feel to have your face forever be put on a video game character in such a large universe as Star Wars?
Terrible, man. Oh, God. I'm so glad to talk about it. No, it was great. It was awesome. It was really fun. that was the fact that they decided that they wanted to hire actors and use not only the actors' voices, but their likeness and their motion capture and all that was a unique situation that completely benefited me. I mean, there isn't like a week that goes by where someone isn't asking me some questions about Force Unleashed. And then with Lucasfilm, that thankfully led to Clone Wars stuff, so I'm having a lot of fun. Too much fun. I'm having too much fun. How's Gotham? How's that going?
It's a little crowded. Two-Face is an ass.
Yeah, he's a dick. He's half a dick.
He's nice sometimes.
I can tell that there's something underneath there.
That's right.
He used to be a nice guy.
Penguin, just no dealing with him.
Hey, you know, I was in the airport and there was Michael Keaton was there. I saw Michael Keaton at the airport, and the whole time I'm looking at him going, like picturing the cape and the cowl on him and be like, I'm taller than Batman. This is cool. This is awesome. Cool. So, that happened.
Thanks.
Hi guys, first of all I just want to say a special hello and thank you to Meaghan, because as a fellow Montrealer, when I first learned about the show that she was going to be in it, I was really stoked that a local girl was making good and doing big, so good on you, Meaghan.
Thank you.
This question I guess is for the whole gang. Like all ensemble casts, I'm sure you guys pull a lot of practical jokes and stupid ass stuff on each other on the set. Who's the worst for it?
It's really...
It's an equal bag of tricks. Yeah.
If let's say, you know, it's said it's worse when we're all there, but let's say we're doing a scene where it's just one of us. That person takes responsibility for the people that are absent.
For the hijinks of all.
So there's a pretty steady flow of hijinks every day.
Hijinks everywhere.
But
Tomfoolery,
general rowdiness, boisterous behavior.
Boisterous. Any synonyms? Anyone have the synonyms?
Come on, I want to get one.
What is it? What?
Shenanigans.
Shenanigans. Whoa!
What? Who said that?
I heard jittery potpourri. What was that? Does that mean anything to you guys?
I heard shitty Pokemon. That's what I heard.
That does not exist.
There's one really shitty Pokemon.
Jigglypuff.
No,
Jigglypuff.
we've finally evolved to the point where we are now having to ask each other to chill it out, because some like a director will come on our set and we're just like laughing our
I think last night your verbatim words were, "Hey, could you tell Huntington to shut the fuck up? I can't hear your direction." I think that's verbatim.
Here's the thing, you laughed, but I really couldn't.
I know, but that was the point. Hence tomfoolery.
There it is.
Hijinks.
Okay, thanks a lot. Oh, just wanted to know, who among the production staff or producers ever thought that Montreal could really pass for Boston? Because I watched the show religiously and I look at it and go, this is Montreal. You can't mistake it. Plus the giant murals on the walls.
Can I
the
tell you?
architectural style.
I can tell you right now, though. Let me tell you right now. People who've never been to Boston or Montreal will think it's Boston. Tell you what, you've never been to San Francisco, shoot the thing in Chicago. You never been to Chicago, it's San Francisco.
Yeah, get on the trolley, elevated.
Yeah, exactly.
Fine, elevated trolley.
Yeah. Hey, there's the Sears Tower, or the Space Needle.
Who cares?
Who cares?
It's a city.
Doesn't matter, it's a city, yeah.
Okay, just curious.
He's like, all right, fine.
You guys are dicks. I love that you're dicks. I was a fan of your show, not a fan of your show anymore. I will work your downfall. Slowly at first, but eventually your show will.
Meaghan, I'm moving away from Montreal. Because of you.
Hi. First off, hilarious in the Smallville panel. Brother and I are sitting and we turn to our right and two batches of awesome, so thank you for that.
You just call us two batches of awesome.
Yeah.
God, I love you. I'll be over at your house at 5. Give me 5:30.
Just two heaping scoops of batches are awesome.
Did she say two
hot piles of awesome?
Did she say, wait, we're having a discussion here, guys, shut up. Did she say you bastards are awesome?
You bastards are awesome.
Or was it two
It was
batches
two individual batches, like.
of awesome?
Yeah, two bastards of awesome.
Two bastards of awesome.
Yes, two awesome. I heard her right. I heard you right the first time.
Of course, yes, naturally. No, it was just a matter of like, how is the special effects makeup and all the stuff that you guys have to do on the set? I mean, I know you were a judge on Face Off, which awesome too.
Yeah.
So like,
one batch of
how is
awesome.
it?
Awesome.
Well, it's two batches of awesome, but one's extra awesome now.
Well, it's two batches, and then Face Off is one batch.
Well,
and
yeah.
I'm the second batch.
Of course.
A baker's dozen.
Baker's dozen of batches of awesome.
I just learned what baker's dozen
What
is.
if one batch was a baker's dozen?
One batch of baker's dozen.
Really 26
batches. Just 26 discrete batches. When you get to 30, you get your first badge of awesome. Right? Look, we're breaking it down for you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I was confused.
That was the question, right?
Well,
how many batches?
How many batches in one baker's dozen to obtain one badge of awesome?
it was just how is the special effects makeup? Like, how is it? Like, you guys enjoy it? Like, how long does it take? That kind of like, what's your favorite piece?
Weirdly, I have the most makeup this year.
Yeah.
Weirdly.
Wow.
You usually...
Yeah.
No? What?
Oh no, Meaghan has a lot too, in a different way.
Yes, she does, right.
And, well, we can't really say anything about
Oh
that.
my god, guys, you're gonna love it!
Oh, dude, it's so cool. Here's the problem is, and you know, the reason we're sitting here and just basically, we're saying a lot of words, but you're not getting anything from it. They're all empty calories. You know, you're not actually getting anything that you will take home.
Right.
And that's actually on purpose, because even with our first episode this year, things that happen that are so huge that they, I mean, if we even told you a piece of it, we'd ruin the entire season. There are some really, really big things that happen this year. So, you know, when we ask people, well, what can we tell the audience? They say nothing. It's like, well, you know, in the first 2 years, we could say some things.
They say, your favorite color.
How many batches makes a batch?
How many sexual partners you've had.
We actually just, I'm not gonna go there.
But I will say, you know...
My mother's in the audience.
She's there. And she already knows anyway, right?
She does.
But,
yeah.
you know, it's, this season, though, is, it's really, really strong. We've seen a number of episodes where we're more than halfway through shooting it. And it's just been nonstop. The writers have been absolutely amazing. And this could very well be our strongest stuff that we've ever done.
Yeah.
You know, it's really exciting to be a part of.
Yeah. We're blown away.
Yeah.
But yeah, to answer your cool question, in the past, the werewolf makeup has been really, really, really heavy, and I think that they kind of figured out that it was slowly killing me. So they.
He has very sensitive skin,
Yeah,
and whenever they would peel off, you know, all the prosthetics, he would get full body rashes.
You know, fine with about 12 hours, but when you get into like the 16th hour of the makeup, it's it's been really, 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 really light. And these guys have been.
Well, there's this awesome story from first season. You remember this? Like we were.
Oh, I remember.
Oh no, but Sammy had been doing things where he's doing like 16, 17, 18-hour days, even beyond that, right? Sometimes with very little turnaround, and then he'd go and do it again. All this werewolf makeup, and they had these stages, right? They'd be like, okay, we have the stage where we put some stuff on Sammy's face, but it's still Sammy's face, and he's got a chest piece and this and that. Then we have the next phase, and it's this. And then they had these phases where it's like the full wolf snout on Sammy, and full wolf body, everything. And, you know, like, then we get to a later episode in the first season, and, you know, Sammy's standing here, and then like a double comes in wearing the full wolf snout mask thing, and you're like, oh yeah, you can't tell. He's wearing a damn mask! Like they had him in a full body, it's like they put him in a full body so you couldn't tell it's Sammy, but it's actually Sammy.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, you're going to be able to tell. You're going to see it.
Unbelievable.
You're going to love it. Yeah, at that point, I think Sammy's heart just sank. He's like, really, we could have saved all that time, you know, with someone else being in the, you know, you get me up in like the halfway stages where you see this, but then save the time because you have a guy waiting in the wings who's already ready to come in and do the later stages instead of putting this makeup on, shooting for hours, taking it off, putting on the new wolf snout. I mean, it was like...
I think that kid was like 14, by the way.
And he didn't survive.
And he
No, but you know
didn't
what?
make it. He didn't make it.
That fun fact, that guy who played your double as the stand-in werewolf actually ended up being the guy who played Dylan in season 2.
Oh, really?
The ghost who raped me.
Dylan, the ghost who raped me. That would be your memoirs.
Yeah. Is Robert Naylor in the audience right now? Stand up, please.
There he is!
This is Robert Naylor who plays Stevie in season 2. Hi, Rob.
Hey, buddy. Touchdown, Naylor.
Nailed that.
We may see him in upcoming episodes.
Maybe.
Probably not.
It depends on whether or not I want it to happen.
Right. We're still working on
Sorry, Rob.
Sorry, Rob. Still talking to Huntington.
We have to figure it out.
How it goes.
Weird things have happened since you've been there. I make all the decisions.
He does. He makes the calls. He writes the checks.
Yeah.
Sorry about this. I'm so sorry about these guys.
Well, thank you for the answer and the batch clarification.
Yeah.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Take that.
Everyone needed clarity.
Oh my god.
Hello.
Hello.
I have a question for Kristen, actually.
Yay! I get to answer a question.
When it came out that in order to cure werewolfism, you had to kill the person who made you, what do you think Nina actually expected Josh to do?
Nora. It's okay. Sorry. What did I expect?
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah.
It's an honest, good mistake. Nina and Nora, they're similar names. So sorry. What did I expect Josh to
do about it? Yeah.
When I told him?
Yeah.
I mean, I expected. I waited as long as I possibly could to tell him because I didn't, as I said in the script, I didn't want him to have to murder another human being and then have to deal with repercussions. So I don't know. I think that I was expecting. I don't think I was expecting him to follow through with it when I told him originally, and then he did. And you guys don't know what happened as a result. But you will very soon when you tune into season 3.
You're gonna love it. You are gonna love it.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Just clarification. Geez, that's my voice. Sorry.
Dude, that's like top 10 moments of my life. Like kids being born, marriage. That was wild there, dude.
Jesus, that's my voice. When we all go through that, we do this. Yeah. Because you're
just for clarification. Oh my god, that's my voice.
Well, now that I know what I sound like.
Dude, you are awesome. That was incredible.
Thank you. Okay. When you say good things are going to happen in season 3, do you mean actually good things or, dear God, holy shit, it's the end of the world?
That's a really
that is a good question. And I think we can honestly say that one thing that was missing from season 2 was moments of levity.
Yeah.
And season 3 definitely has that. It's got great stories, but stories that bring us all together, which is something that we wanted to do as well. We love doing scenes together, and we love when our characters are together. And we all feel like that's when the show's at its best.
Yeah, there's it's the stakes are really high though. There's definitely horrible things that happen. But when you have all 4 roommates together, it tends to get kind of funny pretty quick, even if it's tense. And some of the stupid things that we say under those tense situations. But I mean, for my part, I'm very happy that Aidan gets to be around human beings this year rather than just vampires. So you get to see Aidan dealing with a lot of stuff. One thing we can say to you guys is that season 3 picks up a year and a half after season 2. So there have been some, possibly some, obviously things have changed in a year and a half, and there's some stuff that happens. But it's really fun to see how the characters interact together, and really a lot of consequences from seasons 1 and 2 come to haunt them in season 3, which is, I think I can say that, right? That's
yeah. And Nora and Josh have, they've opened a cupcakery, and I think that's really fun for the audience.
It is,
It's gonna be really fun for the audience. Everybody likes cake.
Fur included, I'm assuming?
Yeah, what is it?
Fur included, I'm assuming?
Fur included. And they're just fur balls that we paint with frosting. It's disgusting. We don't expect people to eat them, but they look cool. They do look cool. They look like snowballs, Tribbles. Yeah.
Okay, one more question. There's a lot of chemistry between Sam and Meaghan, but seriously, what do you expect will happen?
They're gonna get it on.
Are you talking about us two?
These guys? Which guys? These guys?
This guy?
The vampire and the ghost who want to hook up but can't because the
Well, we make up for it in real life.
Thank you for the Top Gun reference.
Can I tell you something? When we were at ComicCon in San Diego this year, we did this game, we did the match game, where I was asked questions and I had to answer them before, and then the two guys had to answer the same questions about me, and we'd find out who was best suited for me.
Guess who won?
Nailed every question.
Guess who won?
Yeah, you should say guess who won. Let's go back.
It just ended up being a stupid story. Nobody got to participate.
Guess who won?
Guess who won? Yeah. She already told the story.
Nailed every question.
Let's be honest.
I'm covering this mic in lipstick right now.
It's beautiful.
Mine smells like chewing tobacco. I don't know who used this before me.
Leatherface did.
Leatherface.
It does.
It's gross.
There is a lot of interesting stuff that happens between all four of the roommates, and you'll see. A lot of it.
Can't wait.
They all have sex together. What? Is that what you want? No, they don't.
You sound great, by the way.
You like
You have
it?
a very nice voice. You should,
I like it.
You should be
I like
pleased.
it.
If this is the first time, that was
Sharpest bow.
that's amazing.
Well done.
Applaud him.
Well done, sir. To your seat. Get to your seat. Sorry.
Hi, first I wanted to clarify the synonym that I shouted out earlier is jiggery pokery. Jiggery pokery. Yeah, it's an Irish kind of thing. So imagine an Irish music instructor saying, settle down there, that jiggery pokery.
Gabrielle Sidibe.
So you're
Gabrielle Sidibe. Is that what she said? Gabrielle Sidibe. Gabrielle Sidibe.
Jiggery pokery. Can I try something?
Oh God, he's about to do it. No. Jiggery. Oh no, he's gonna jiggery poke.
It's
Irish. You poke the shit out of something.
Yeah. Irish poke dance fighting.
The old Irish poke is something a little different.
The old Irish poke.
Sorry, I poked you kind of hard, didn't I?
No, it's all right. Okay, I'm very strong.
Oh yeah.
Can we take this seriously, please?
So there was a scene the other day where I don't think this is getting too spoilery, where like Meaghan and I had to try and restrain Sam.
Yeah.
One of us on each arm. The guy is like, it's like inhuman. It's like he's like a.
It was so much fun. I had a great
vampire.
He's a vampire. It was. I couldn't believe it.
He's really strong.
Yeah. Stupid.
Yeah.
He's also dumb as shit.
He's cockeyed.
Dumb. He's got one eye that shoots the other way, like it's looking at third base. How does he even look through binoculars?
Second eye is behind his ear, for God's sakes. Cockeyed and dumb.
Dumb guy. Really strong. Really strong. But doesn't know his own strength kind of thing. I mean,
of mice and men strong.
What was the question?
Let's get to it. The question's actually for me. My question's for Meaghan, and it's about Sally's storyline with the Reaper. And I wanted to know how far in advance you knew what direction that was going to take, and how you felt about it.
I knew the general arc of what was going to happen about a month before we started shooting. I didn't know any of the details or how we would get to that point eventually, but I was really excited about it. I kind of liked how dark Sally's story got. it became a little intense, but I think we needed to get to that point. All of the characters did. Last season was super dark, and I think we all needed to get to that point to then build our way back up. So we've now earned this season. But I kind of liked it. I mean, the guy looked like Keanu Reeves, didn't he?
Thank you.
No response.
Kristen, Nora didn't go dark last year. She was just light as a feather.
She was just frolicking
around.
Just running with the wolves, having a grand old
We were just informed we have 5 minutes left. So do you want to get
No, we
your...
have more than 5
Ken
minutes.
just told me 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
That's frankly, that's bullshit.
Ken, get out of here!
I see 20. I see 20 on my clock here.
I see 20 as well.
Ken, you full of...
Yeah, can we get an independent? We have 10. Fine, we
Okay.
compromise now? What the hell? Is it negotiation? 15!
These people have questions. There's a child.
Oh, hi, buddy.
Hi.
Sorry for all the cussing.
I was really sad when you had to kill your child. Is there any more kids coming on the show?
Yes, there are. There are more kids.
That was like the most
Perspective of the child.
There's more kids. Yeah, there's teens.
There's teens.
They're gonna be fine. Kid, just
Don't
fine.
even worry about it. Hey, don't worry about it.
Won't let him hear you.
Buddy, your parents love you. Your parents love you. It's okay, Sean.
How do you know his name's Sean?
I just
My name is
know.
Brian.
Oh, for God's sake.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay, Sean. I'm just gone. I'm just gone.
Look,
Don't even worry about it.
let me smooth this over.
We don't. Well,
Hey, Brian, you know what's gonna make you feel better? What about an ice cream cone? You want an ice cream cone, bud?
I hate ice cream.
and his name is Brian.
Look, lots of. Yes, the show is funnier this year, but people get hurt. It's not.
Yeah, Brian,
You
calm
don't
down.
like this shit?
Brian, calm down. Calm down. Calm down.
No, but it's a really good question, and yeah, people get hurt of all ages. We are, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Won't hurt anyone.
Well, I like to. I remember the first time I saw the movie. It was what was the more recent Blob made? It was like early '80s, wasn't it? So,
Yes.
Yeah. It's like '81 or '82. And I saw it. I remember like up to that point, they shoot. Anyway, kid dies in that, and it really disturbed me. I was like, oh my god, kids can die in movies too. So, dude.
And in TV shows.
And in TV shows.
Yeah. But good question though.
So sleep well tonight. Sweet dreams, pal.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're
Welcome, Brian.
Good kid. He's a good kid.
Good guy. Good guy.
Yeah, really good guy.
Nice boy.
Megan will see you at 5:20.
See you soon.
Yeah, see you soon. Megan will see you real soon.
Hi all, thank you for making me follow the child death question. So I really love Being Human, where you take a bunch of soups and they're all drug addicts. Because you guys are all new drug addicts, recovering drug addicts. Meaghan and Kristen are basically the new form drug addicts. If you looked at all your characters, who do you think you most represent from famous drug addicts? Trainspotting, Silkwood, whatever. And do you think 10 years in the road, Being Human, you guys would turn into this just horrible ending of the way most drug addicts do, or you guys think that
Actually, that'd be kind of a
recovery?
cool way to end the series.
Well,
Just like a horrible, like we all die.
We all just get worked.
Yeah. No door. We all just go to hell. Yeah.
What famous drug addict are you?
Who's my favorite drug addict? Oh, there's so many good
So
ones.
many good ones, I know.
Sid Vicious. No, maybe. I don't know. Right?
Lindsay Lohan. Okay.
Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah, Max. Macker. He's not a drug addict, damn it. He's misunderstood.
Sorry, Sammy and Mac go way back.
We go way, way back.
Used to call you Big Mac, Little Mac.
They used to call us Big Mac and Little Mac. Poor guy. Is there still? Is this question still happening? What?
Famous drug addict
Yeah.
that I am. That I would be. I don't know.
Kristen is a drug addict, so why would she have to be me?
That's true.
Janis
Joplin, Jim Morrison,
John Belushi.
John Belushi.
Now we're just naming these guys.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
Next question.
Well, like Robin Williams had to be, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because you're kind of like this, you keep going like this, and everyone has to fucking, you know, you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Weird.
Thank you.
You're welcome, pal. I'm sorry.
You followed the kid. What do you expect?
That's true.
Hello.
Hey!
I'm gonna try to speak English.
It's okay.
We're still trying, pal.
So I actually never watched any episode of Being Human US version. I saw all the UK version. And I wonder if you saw the UK version of Being Human.
We didn't watch it when we were shooting the first season, but then after that, I bought them all the box sets and we watched everything.
And the plot of the US version, is it the same as the UK or it's completely different?
First season follows the same story as the British version, only they do it in 6 episodes, we do it in 13 episodes, so it goes to different places. The characters seem a lot different, and then by second season and beyond, it's totally different.
Okay, thank you.
So before have complex characters to play, do you have any rituals before getting into your character?
Blood rituals.
Yeah, masturbation. Blood masturbation. It's ritualistic, so it's.
As you can tell from this panel, it's actually really hard to try and get into character. I can speak. I'm going to go ahead and just speak for myself here because I felt a lot with this guy right here. And as you can tell, he has a lot of energy and he likes to talk a lot. And we have some pretty heavy scenes. And so often, right before I'm getting ready to enter into the scene, they're about to say action, Sammy will say whatever he can to just mess me up right before and pull me out. And I'm trying to really get into it. And normally I'm someone who likes to take a moment before and be prepared, and then I'll be ready and I'll be about to say action, and Sammy will look at me and be like, hey, imagine you just had a little penis that was on your leg right there. They'll say action. Try and focus, and so in theory I would love to be able to really take the time to get into these scenes, but I just don't get that opportunity.
That's a really good point.
What would you do if you did have a little penis on your leg?
Right? I mean, come on. And so
we're going to the show.
You guys would be having sex. Is that where you're going? Hey, Kristen, what if you had a penis? Would you? I don't know. Look at me.
The sound you're hearing right now is what it sounds like to be in Sam Huntington's head all the time.
Pigeons.
Thank you.
People in Canada are so nice. They clap after everybody's questions. You notice that?
Yeah, you know what's funny? So my best friend and his wife are in town right now, and they just arrived, and she's German. She's never been to Canada. She's a lovely, lovely girl. They live in New York, and they got in the elevator at the Marriott last night, and this woman with a bicycle comes onto the elevator. It's 11 o'clock at night, and nearly the door's closed, and she goes, "So my boyfriend stood me up." Can you believe it? And then just starts she's going into this crazy story about, so now her first experience in Canada is this crazy bitch on a bike in an elevator. It's not just on a bike in an elevator, just spouting nonsense.
Welcome to Montreal.
Hey!
Hi.
What's your name?
Elisa.
Elisa.
Yes. My question is actually for Meaghan. I know you studied theater at Dawson College.
Wrong.
Wrong?
Go on.
That was mean, Meg. Jesus, Meg.
Because I'm studying theater at John Abbott College, and my question was, how did you coming from Montreal, you know, start to get into the business and all that?
I didn't study theater at Dawson. I did cinema communications. But it's just no one wants to hear that answer.
UFO.
I've been taking acting classes since I was really young, and I kind of was at the right place at the right time kind of thing. I was doing this workshop and my picture was on the wall and a casting director came in that was casting for an independent film she was doing and saw my picture and asked me to audition and then I ended up getting it. So that's really how I got my start, but I feel like the most important thing is to just keep taking classes, keep getting as good as you can so that when it happens for you, you're ready.
Thank you.
Now we have 5 minutes remaining. 5 minutes.
One more question.
One more question. No, there aren't any more questions.
Is that woman crying?
Yay.
Are you okay?
Hi. I have a quick question for you guys.
Yeah.
Where do you go to eat a poutine in Montreal?
Where do you go, Kristen? Honestly, though, where would you go to eat a poutine? Well, where would you
I'm
go?
a big fan of the late night. You just order from Mama's Pizza. They bring great poutine at like 4 a.m.
That's nice.
That's my go-to.
I've never tried it.
Yes, you have.
Never had smoked meat or a Montreal bagel.
He's lying.
Come on, guys.
He's a pig. He ate all of those first.
Seriously, Jesus. Enough. Did you hear the gasps, though? That's kind of what I was going for.
No. Someone was about to bring you a poutine.
Yeah, I know.
That might have been.
I felt like it needed to be explained.
Jiggy poker.
Well, 5-minute Ken says it's over.
Okay, guys, just so you know, we're signing at after this. Okay.
At Witwer's table?
All at Witwer's table.
Come to Witwer's table, where the poutine is fresh, Huntington can't hear anything but penis.
I'll be sealed in a glass thing. You guys want to? You'll be able to hear me. It'll be muffled. I won't be able to touch you though. So.
Don't worry, people. We have security waiting for us.
Yeah.
So the wonderful cast of Being Human.
Thank you so much.